Hi YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer, Evelyn. Today we're gonna have a change of pace. We're going to review a Korean movie that came out on Netflix recently called Love and Leashes, or better known in Korea, I guess, is Umole Sensu. Well, translates to moral sense. The film is based on the webtoon by Gyul. So it's a romantic comedy film. The setup for the film is within an office. I didn't pay attention to what type of office, but the description reads a public relations office. So we get introduced to the main character, Jung Ji-woo, played by So Hyun, which apparently she's from Girls' Generation. And then we get the secondary character that gets introduced, well, the second main character, Jung Ji-hoo, played by Jun-young, who, from what I read on his bio, he's also from another group. So the setup is this. The guy who comes in, Jung Ji-hoo, is transferred into the girl's office of Ji-woo's office, or referred to So Hyun as Ji-woo. And we see the interrelations between, the misogyny that goes on, where the boss of the girls group, he acts very misogynist, and she's feeling, put under the thumb by the man. Jung Ji-hoo, the guy, he comes in, but unexpectedly, Jung Ji-hoo sends in a package into the office. But since his name and the main girl's name is very similar, there's a confusion. But then there's a confusion when she opens up the box and she has a surprise. I don't get how you get confused on reading your own name on the box, no matter how similar they were. And as the guy comes back to see what the package was, he realized it was sent to the wrong place. So we get a funny scene. Hopefully I'll insert a clip of him running to find the girl opening the box, and inside is a dog collar with the tag name Miho. So with the teasers that I saw, we can get this, we know that it's delving into the world of BDSM. Well, let me say this again. BDSMS. Or, with the bondage, sadomasochistic tendencies of, we can get it, dog collars, bondage, and all sorts of things that your mind can conjure up. So this was an interesting premise because, with Korea, South Korea, the K-dramas, the music and everything, and the kind of aesthetic from Korea is very cutesy, that you don't really see so much other likes or dislikes shown, like not to create offense to the sensibilities of the public. The guy likes to be the submissive, the sub, Jung Ji-hoo, and he's looking for another compatible partner, or like a mistress somewhat. And then we kind of find out that the guy, Jung Ji-hoo, has been burnt by his last girlfriend, that she found his likes to be weird and perverse. But once they meet together, Jung Ji-hoo and Ji-woo, the girl, he finds her holding the collar. He kind of lies to her and says, "This is for my dog." But then the leaflet falls out from the shop that is clearly for bondage purposes of that type of play. So they have that awkward moment where they're like, "What do we do now?" So the story moves on where Jung Ji-hoo goes and tells the girl that, "I want you to be my mistress." And the girl's left stunned thinking, this is a weird request, but she talks with her friend and she kind of gets the sense that she's okay with it, and she kind of likes the idea. So the two main characters, the woman and the man, they meet up in a love hotel to do the first night of bondage. But before that, the girl reads up about BDSM, being a dominant, a master or mistress, however you like to call it. And then we get the first, really funny scene. The good thing about this film, they made it, very tasteful BDSM, that not these weird perversions. But in that moment, the guy becomes, a dog, starts barking and everything, and eating treats from our hand. And it gets very sensual, and then the moment gets interrupted by a clear moaning and groaning sound in the hotel. The basis of the film is about like the minority groups likes the minority group of thing, I guess in Korea, that likes, and that they're not all weirdos and they're just looking for, you know, companionship. Because the film does delve into maybe the bad side, that some guys are taking this for granted and like want to have a more of an abusive relationship. But in this case, both people, the guy helps the girl, Jiwoo, to open up her senses, and she ends up discovering that maybe she likes likes being a mistress. And then they have that kind of interrelationship of play where they have these sessions where they do different stuff together. But ultimately, on the last session, Jiwoo stuns Jung Ji-hoo and tells him that she wants to date him, that she likes him. But he tells her no, because he's still like traumatized by that experience with his girlfriend. So ultimately of the film, their secret gets found out within the office, and there's that shameful meeting about stuff, and we can kind of see the misogyny there by the male bosses interrogating the girl, saying, you know, what relationship do you have with him? Like, did you guys have sex and all that kind of stuff? And of course, very, you know, pertinent, questions that's not necessary. And of course, she's not professional, like that they had a kind of close interaction in the office, seen in the film, but just gives them no right to start interrogating what's what with them. So in that moment in the meeting, you know, the sub, Jung Ji-hoo, he stands up for her, and then he tells her, I want to date you, like, you know, I like her, there's nobody else's business. And then they leave. I don't really remember like if they kept their jobs or whatever, but I didn't pay attention to that. But ultimately at the end, they both decide to, you know, put together their relationship of a mistress and a sub, but then again, put it together with their own relationship. So we get the sweet, a really sweet end. Well, not a sweet end, you know, a very sensual, sweet end. Like, what's the best way I can describe this film? It's, imagine the Care Bears wearing bondage, which is, there's a part in the film where the girl experiments with the bondage with her big plush stuffed toy. So just imagine, you know, the Care Bears with a gag ball, bondage, and a whip. That's how Love and Leashes, that's the portrayal of BDSM and the world within it. Anyway, YouTubers, this is the end of this video. I want to say a big thank you to all the people that have subscribed, and for any new viewers, anybody that's got to this point, I'd be really appreciated if you subscribe to the channel. It would do wonders for me. And leave any comments down below, constructive comments. I always see there's room for improvement, and I hope that I made this video as enjoyable as possible. I highly recommend this movie for just, you know, sit down there with, you know, your girlfriend or boyfriends, have a good laugh about the film, and, you know, yeah. Anyway, thanks YouTubers. See ya.